The seven seals are historically fulfilled. Now I watched when the Lamb opened one of the seven seals, and I heard one of the four living creatures say with a voice like thunder, "Come." And I looked, and behold, a white horse, and its rider had a bow, and a crown, aka a laurel, was given to him, and he came out conquering and to conquer. The first rider is symbolic of the Cretan Emperor dynasty, aka the Antonines. There are four Roman emperors who ruled through 138 AD to 192 AD, and their symbols were the laurel and bow. This is the main time period of conquest and expansion. The seven seals are already historically fulfilled. Now I watched when the Lamb opened one of the seven seals, and I heard one of the four living creatures say with a voice like thunder, "Come." And I looked, and behold, a white horse, and its rider had a bow, and a crown, aka a laurel, was given to him, and he came out conquering and to conquer. The first rider is symbolic of the Cretan Emperor dynasty, aka the Antonines, and four Roman emperors ruled between 138 AD and 192 AD. Their symbols were the laurel and bow. This is the main time period of conquest and expansion of the Roman Empire. The second seal. When he had opened the second seal, I heard the second living creature say, "Come," and out came another horse, bright red. Its rider was permitted to take peace from the earth, so that the people should slay one another, and he was given a great sword. The red rider symbolized war and bloodshed, and the great sword representing the Roman armies. This culminated in AD 235, when the young Roman Emperor Alexander Severus was murdered by his troops during a campaign along the Rhine. The coup couldn't have come at a worse time. Rome was already straining under the weight of the increased raids by the barbarian tribes, and the sudden political instability launched a period of civil war that nearly brought the empire to its knees. Third seal. When he opened the third seal, I heard the third living creature say, "Come," and I looked, and behold, a black horse, and its rider had a pair of scales in its hand. I heard what seemed to be a voice in the midst of the four living creatures saying, "A quarter of wheat and 3/4 of barley for a denarius, and do not harm the oil and the wine." This is the exact price of wheat and barley under Alexander Severus in the great Roman famine of 222 to 235 AD. Fourth seal. When he had opened the fourth seal, I heard the voice of the fourth living creature say, "Come," and I looked, and behold, a pale horse, and its rider's name was Death, and Hades followed him. And they were given authority over a fourth of the earth, meaning Rome, to kill with the sword, and with famine, and with pestilence, and by the wild beasts of the earth. The Antonine Plague of 165 to 180 AD, also known as the Plague of Galen, was the first pandemic impacting the Roman Empire, possibly contracted and spread by soldiers who were returning from campaigns in the Near East. Scholars generally believe the plague was smallpox. This plague may have claimed the life of Roman Emperor Lucius Verus, who died in 169 and was the co-regent of Marcus Aurelius. The two emperors were risen by the throne by virtue of being adopted by the previous emperor Antonius Pius, and as a result their family name Antonius has become associated with the pandemic. The plagues had exactly a 25% fatality rate and killed between 5 to 10 million Roman Empire citizens. The fifth seal. When he had opened the fifth seal, I saw under the altar the souls of those who had been slain for the word of God and for the witness they had borne. They cried out with a loud voice, "O sovereign Lord, holy and true, how long before you will judge and avenge our blood on those who dwell on the earth?" They were each given a white robe and told to rest a little longer until the number of their fellow martyrs should be complete, who were to be killed as they themselves had been. This described the Christians who died for the church in the first church age until Constantine put a stop to it. In 305 AD, he refused to put any Christians to death. The Eastern provincials had to endure a series of waves of persecution until 313. Freedom of worship was permitted in the East that same year in the so-called Edict of Milan. The sixth seal. When he had opened the sixth seal, I looked, and behold, there was a great earthquake, and the sun became black as sackcloth, and the moon became like blood, and the stars of the sky fell to the earth as a fig tree sheds its winter fruit when shaken by a gale. The sky vanished like a scroll that is being rolled up, and every mountain and island was removed from its place. Then the kings of the earth, and the great ones, and the generals, and the rich, and the great men and free, hid themselves in the caves and among the rocks of the mountains, calling to the mountains and rocks, fall on us, and hide us from the face of him who is seated on the throne, and from the wrath of the Lamb. For the great day of their wrath is come, and who can stand? The Roman Empire was divided into the eastern half and western half in 285 Christ era by the Emperor Diocletian. It was the Emperor Constantine in 330 Christ era, however, who moved the capital of the Roman Empire to Byzantium, Constantinople, in the Eastern Roman Empire. Thanks.